Today is part 9 in our 10 Commandments series, and that means we're talking about lying. Now, there are thousands of ways to lie, both inside and outside the courtroom, but society can't survive without a commitment to the truth. Let's take a look at this commandment in Exodus chapter 20. Verse 16, it says it like this: You must not testify falsely against your neighbor. Now, on the surface, this reads like we're talking about the court of law. But it's more than that. And the reason is because lying is out of step with God's character. It undermines justice in general. And justice is something that God cares deeply about. In Exodus 23, it says this: You must not pass along false rumors. You must not cooperate with evil people by lying on the witness stand. You must not follow the crowd in doing wrong. When you're called to testify in a dispute, do not be swayed by the crowd to twist justice. And do not slant your testimony in favor of a person just because that person is poor. Consider that these words were written thousands of years ago, but they still make sense for society today. That's because God's truth is for every generation, not just for the generation of Moses. In Hebrews 6, verse 18, it says that God has given both his promise and his oath, and these two things are unchangeable because, and here's the good part, because it is impossible for God to lie. So truth-telling is a part of the character and nature of God. God can't lie. It's out of step with his character. And a godly culture will keep that in mind and uphold justice at any cost. Because lying isn't just a violation of truth, it also hurts people. That means that lying directly contradicts the greatest commandment given by Jesus in Matthew 22. I love how Proverbs 25:18 says it. Telling lies about others is as harmful as hitting them with an axe, wounding them with a sword, or shooting them with a sharp arrow. Write this one down and read it again next time you're tempted to lie about something or someone. Lying isn't wrong just because it violates God's truth. It's also wrong because it hurts people, and people matter to God. So we should get in the habit of telling the truth to them and about them. One more thing. Lying isn't a mouth issue, it's a heart issue. According to the New Testament, the only cure for lying is a changed heart. Jesus said this in Matthew 15, starting at verse 18, But the words you speak come from the heart. That's what defiles you. For from the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, all sexual immorality, theft, lying, and slander. Notice, lying makes the list along with all those other things. And the point that Jesus is making is that we can't solve this heart issue by reading another self-help book. What needs to happen is real heart change. And that can only happen when we turn to Christ in faith. One more verse, Colossians 3, starting at verse 9. Paul writes this: Don't lie to each other, for you have stripped off your old sinful nature and all of its wicked deeds. Put on your new nature and be renewed as you learn to know your Creator and become like him. Notice in this verse, Paul is talking to Christians. They weren't perfect yet, but they had already trusted Jesus for salvation, which means that they had a new nature. Their hearts had been changed because of the gracious work of the Holy Spirit in them. In spite of their new nature, they still had some old habits. And that's how it works for every Christian today. So remember, lying isn't a mouth issue, it's a heart issue. Now, if you've never let God change your heart, we'll put a link down below to help you to talk about that with your group or your mentor. And make a fresh commitment to follow the 9th commandment. Learn to tell the truth inside the courtroom and out. That's the natural response of a person who loves God and who loves people.